Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping K. Today I'm sharing a double 8.5 by 11 layout using my Kit Conspiracy kit and also playing along with Pattern Play, which is a class by Allison Davis. And it's using 6 by 6 pads. I'm going to use a 8 by 8 pad and also do a double 8.5 by 11 layout. So I have 4 photos here that are 4 by 6. They're going to be trimmed down, but I will show you that when I get started on the layout. I pulled in lots of rub-ons from 49 and Market. Actually, I end up not using any of them. I was hoping to get a few more used before the end of the collection or before I got done playing with the kit, but that's not going to happen. I might have one more layout next month playing with this kit before I put it away, but I haven't decided that as of yet. I also have a few of the dies that I pulled out or die cuts. These might also, a few of them are the laser cuts too. And the laser cuts in this collection are very delicate. This is Hidden Creek by Arden, and it's kind of sort of like 49 Market, but the quality of it is not the same. These ones are very delicate when you pull them out, so you have to be very careful with them not to tear them. I actually was able to get the branches and flowers out without tearing them, except for one. I tore the flower off, but I'm able to put it back on when I add it on the layout. I have a little place to put part of my title and a cute little bench because there is benches in the photo. So I thought I would get that bench used while I could. And then I have these larger leaf clusters, which I love, and I think that's going to be the perfect place to place my title. I also have metal dies that are in a square because that's going to be with the playing along with the pattern paper play with Allison Davis. In her class, she's using mainly so far we've used squares and triangles, and this one's going to use squares. And I will kind of sort of show you how I put it together and kind of sort of explain it, but I'm not trying to give like full details since it is a paid class. But I definitely enjoyed using it and getting it on the layout. I couldn't decide which papers I was actually going to use, so I'm kind of showing you everything that I have left to use and pull from. I end up going with quite a few of the patterns except for the circle ones. So the yellow circles that I showed in the brown polka dots, I end up not using either one of those papers. That one there is a 49 and Market 12 by 12 paper, and I'm going to actually use that on the layout. This one here is 2 cardstocks by Miss Kate, and her cardstock is just white on the other side. It actually makes really good cut files to cut cardstock out of this cardstock, but I'm just going to use it as the background of the layout. And then I brought in 4 different alphas because, again, I couldn't decide to make up my mind how that was going to happen. And that is my son's hand over my hand messing around. And I was getting started on the layout, and he's like, "Here, let me help you." And I'm like, "You cannot help me. You are just having your hand in the camera." And so we were playing around, and I just decided to leave it in. So here I'm going to lay this paper down. This paper is about 7 by 5 3/4, I believe. I am going to trim it down just a little bit smaller than 7 once I get the squares put down because it's not going to line up enough. There's going to be like just, yeah, it's probably like, um, it's a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, about 1/8 probably that I'm going to trim off of it. But basically what I'm going to do, I already have the squares cut. I already have them ready to go. Like I said, it took me a long time to decide which pattern papers to actually lay down. I decided to go to the movies and then come back and finish the layout. So that was just something my son and I decided to go do on this Saturday. So I am voicing over the video a little bit late tonight to try to get it up tomorrow for Sunday. But anyways, I have a little triangle here that's blue. That's a 49 market paper. I don't think I showed that one. That one was from the new, like, oh, what is that collection called? It's like a little kid preschool collection or something. It's from the solid pack though, and so is this. Or no, that yellow one's actually from the 6 by or the 8 by 8 papers. But the blue one is a scrap piece from the 49 market. But I had it and it matches, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. This green is the opposite side of the floral paper, and then the plaid paper, and then this one here is like a cement print. I already placed it down also at the top on now on the left side, but it's actually going to be, yeah, on the left in the middle. So here's where I'm using my ruler to line it up so I can use a pencil to draw my line so I know where to cut it. And like I said, it's just a little sliver that needs to come off. And that's why I also didn't like fully put that paper down, because I knew I was going to have to trim it after I laid out the squares. And in the actual Allison Davis class, she puts other squares on top of these squares, but I just thought it was a little bit too much for this layout, because I'm gonna use pretty much what I use, like 6 different patterns to make the squares. So I just kind of thought it looked okay without the other squares on top of it. And I didn't add like any stitching or details or anything like that. The only thing I did was I did ink up the edges of the squares. So it looks like there's a black line between all of the little squares and triangles. And I like it. I think it turns out pretty cute. And it's definitely something that's fitting for this layout. These photos are actually from Mother Cabrini's shrine, which is in Colorado, and it's just a place of worship. And you can walk the, oh, what is that called? Um, Basically, you're walking the stages of the cross, and then there's like a praying place and different little stations along the way as you walk. It's not a very long walk. It's about 20 minutes or so. It's not it is in a mountain, but it's not like a very hard walk or anything like that. And it's something that my mom likes to do, so she took my son there when he was younger, and they were probably just she used to go there a lot just to go visit. And so that's probably what they were doing, was just spending an afternoon there, and he happened to be with her. So she took some pictures of him, around the area. And I just thought they were cute and something to put in his album. So I did not take the photos. So they are not the best photos, but they're not what bad. I think it's just the camera quality of them. It was probably a disposable camera, I would guess. She used to use those a lot back in the day, and they are not the clearest pictures up close, but they are definitely, they show the place and they tell the story. So in the end, I'm going to go ahead and get them on in his album. So here I have one of him praying at the bottom of the cross, and I decided to cut it down since it wasn't showing the full cross, and it shows him a little bit closer up, but also so that I can place the title above that photo. So that was the reason that I trimmed that one down. The other ones are, they're not quite 4 by 6 anymore. They're probably 3.5. I think I trimmed them down to 3.5 by 5.5 is what I trimmed them down to, so that I could fit them on this paper across the middle. And so here's the little, like, they remind me of bushes. I don't know what they are. They're like little branches of a a bush, I guess. They kind of look like a bush, maybe a tree, but they don't really have a stump. So I'm thinking they're more bush-like than tree-like. But I'm just going to place them on the left and the right of this little photo. And like I said, that's going to be the perfect place to add the title. I keep this layout fairly simple. One, because of the subject matter, and two, because I really didn't know how to embellish it any other way. So keeping it kind of simple, but adding these delicate little leaves and flowers, I think turn out really cute. And this area, depending on the time of year that you go, is really beautiful. Um, at this time, they were probably there either in late fall or early spring because it is not like pretty at all. There is no flowers, no nothing around. But adding in some of these cute little laser cut flowers, I think works out perfectly. This is the little bench, and I'm going to add it down at the bottom on the right hand side. I'm just popping it up on the little foam tape. This is probably like 1/4 of an inch, um, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 1/8 of an inch. It's not very thick, but I'm just adding it for the little bench. I did pop up the photo on Playfoam, the little half photo, and then I'm going to put shrine on that little um, I don't know. It looks like a placard, but it, it's not hanging from anything. It does have like a fake stitch line on it. And then I'm using these Vicky Bouton thickers to spell out Mother Cabrini. And then Shrine is also in a Vicky Bouton, but it's the gold color, and there is gold on the black letters also. That R was way too big. I had to get out my other pack so I could get a smaller R and put in Cabrini, and it is called Mother Cabrini's Shrine. Um, I just didn't add the S, and I might go back and add the S, but that would mean I'll have to move the butterfly, so I'll probably leave it. I really didn't think it needed it. I mean, I guess either way, Mother Cabrini Shrine is fine. Um, and then I'm going to add those little butterflies. I add 3 butterflies up by the title. And then I also added the year down at the bottom. This is another 2001 set of photos for his album. And the reason I'm doing a double page with it, I probably could have fit these 4 on one layout if I would have trimmed them down a little bit more. But actually, in his album, he has a place for the double page layout. So that's why I went ahead and just kept it a double page layout. I did add in some gold little flatback pearls. Those are from Pink Fresh. And I'm just going to add 3 in 3 different places. And pretty much that's it. That's going to finish up the layout. I think it turned out really cute. I love the Allison Davis idea of putting the pattern papers together and making a pattern. I think it helps, just use your pattern papers for one, which I love because I love pattern papers, but it also helps with the design of the layout and keeping it kind of simple. So I hope you guys liked today's layout, and I should have up another layout for, actually tomorrow will be acrylic stash busting, so I will definitely have a layout up for that, and that will be a color cast design layout too. So I will see you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Bye.